Hey everybody, it's me, John Ward, and welcome back to another Two Filmmakers review one film. And today my guest is
Jonathan Moody.
and Mr. Moody. You were the one who reached out to me about doing this review for.
Did I?
Yeah.
I know we talked about it. We talked about because you said you said you saw it because I think you said at one point you were just gonna wait for it to be streaming on Max or whatever.
Yeah.
You weren't gonna go to the theater or anything to watch it.
Oh, who says I went to the theater?
I didn't, but I'm just saying that you said you wouldn't. Yeah, whatever. So anyway, you were gonna watch it. You weren't gonna watch it for a little bit, and then I guess so many people said things that it got you interested in watching it or something.
I mean, I love Joker. I mean, I have it right. I mean, I own the steelbook of it. I got it right here. I got the Blu-ray. So I mean, I love the movie. And I'm a big Todd Phillips fan. I mean, I have right behind me. I think they're like right over. Yeah, right here. Hangover 1, 2, and 3. I love his comedies. But this was getting such bad reviews that I decided to not wait till streaming and go and decided to check it out.
Curiosity got you, right?
Yeah, curiosity got my clown. Curiosity killed the cat. Curiosity killed the clown.
Well,
And
go ahead.
I guess there was no curiosity because the clown is dead anyways. I mean, do you want to know what movie made more money its opening weekend than Joker 2? And that's what I'm going to call it. Was it Joker? Was it full? Did you Folie?
I don't know.
Did you Folie a fish? I'm just going to call it Joker 2. But do you know what movie made more money on its opening weekend than Joker 2?
What is that? Morbius. I can't believe you have Morbius.
I know, either do I.
I mean, I'm OCD, but even I would not want to get that.
It was so cheap in its DVD, so so I figured why not. Plus, there's not a lot of movies in the Sony universe.
Not yet. They're still trying.
Yeah, so we'll see. But it says here Joker might have made $1 billion at the box office, but in the US, its sequel's opening weekend somehow made even less money than Morbius.
They were like,
and it says,
remember when they were saying,
this places the Joker.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Go on.
I was just saying, remember when they said,
oh, no, it's just,
we're off. Like, we're off right now. Like because I'm saying stuff and then you're saying it like 2 seconds later, So just letting you know, our audio's off.
Okay.
Go ahead. Continue what you were saying.
Well, I got out of what I wanted. Hold on. No, go on with what you're saying while I'm trying to find what I lost here.
Well, I'm just saying like that. Remember when they were saying like Deadpool and Wolverine were making, it's going to make $1 billion in it, and did and everything, and then they were like, the only thing that could beat it is Joker 2, and everything. They were trying to hype up Joker 2 and get people to want to go see it, and the problem is, from what I understood, like most people that I talked to had no interest in seeing it because it was a musical. And then when they saw like the trailer did not show any music really, like it did not show it as a musical, and which, I mean, it is and it isn't one, you know what I mean? So yeah, we'll get into all that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I disagree that it's actually a musical. So I'm still just trying to find. I clicked out of it, and I'm trying to. It had stuff I wanted to read. Damn it! And now I can't find it. And I'm not going to spend the entire time trying.
Why did you click out of it?
It was a mistake.
Oh.
And now I can't freaking find it because they talked about the Flash, the Marvels. God damn it. I had it all set up and ready to go.
It was like an article or something, or a Wikipedia, or what?
Yeah, and now I can't find. No, it was an article, and now I can't freaking find it. Okay, here it is. Okay, I found it.
Okay, well, found it.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't have to get all mad. So
not all mad, just a little mad.
Just a little mad. So it says like initial industry expectations had Joker 2 opening upwards of 70 million, but that number fell to anywhere between 50 million and 60 million following poor critical reception and toxic word of mouth. It's one of the few times I'll agree with the word toxic. The underperformance came in below the lower end of projections. That put the Joker sequel within the range of box office flops, The Marvels, 46 million, and The Flash, 55 million. So this is bad. You know,
I mean, okay, okay. So why is it bad to you?
The numbers are bad or the movie's bad?
Like, because you said this is bad. This isn't, I mean, this was to me, this was going to happen. I knew that this was going to happen. Once they announced, and you're saying it's not a musical, you agree, you say it's not a musical. It's not, but they promoted it as a musical.
Well, Todd Phillips came out and said it is a musical. Then he came out and said it wasn't a musical. The trailers for it didn't really show a lot of that. But I am a huge fan of musicals. I have like a stack of playbills like this. I mean, when I was in California, living in Pasadena, my friends and I, 3 straight guys, were going to see musicals like 1 or 2 a month.
That's great.
And the big ones too, like Rent and Phantom and Evita, and we were seeing all those. And then when I lived in Northern California, I'd go with my mom to San Francisco and see a bunch of the musicals there too. And I do watch musicals like just regular movies. So to me, this is not a musical because the music in a musical furthers the movie.
Right.
This did not further the movie. It was almost like karaoke. It was almost like they stopped the film for the singing, I guess that's in Arthur's head. And then the movie continued. But so I think that would actually irritate more people than like a regular musical would, because it's not, the music isn't furthering the plot. But I liked the movie. I did not mind it. If you go off of what Todd Phillips has done, I mean, like, you know, you have The Hangover. Hangover 2 is more or less just a remake of the first one, but I actually liked the second one better than the first one. And then the third Hangover movie doesn't even have a hangover in it. It's like midway through the credits is when we finally get the hangover. So he did a completely different movie. And so if people thought that he was going to give them a Joker sequel that in a way was kind of like the Penguin TV series, where now Arthur Fleck is like the crime boss of Gotham.
Well, he got arrested at the end of the first one, so
he did do all that for prison or break out of prison.
Or break out of prison is what I. So that is what I was thinking, was it was going to be like that, but you know, obviously that's not what Todd Phillips wanted to do. You know how you get on me about, like, there are certain movies I don't like certain types of movies, Like, I don't like westerns, or I don't like zombies. I also don't like prison movies much.
Oh,
I mean, or prison TV shows, especially like when Sons of Anarchy went into the prison. I was like, I'm so fucking bored. Get out of the prison. You know, get into the
one of the
real.
best seasons of The Walking Dead was when they were in the prison.
But there was probably zombies in the prison, so that I
Off
didn't
and
mind.
off and on, sure, but
Yeah,
you don't like zombies, or you
but at
didn't.
least that's more interesting than just a prison movie. Like a prison zombie movie would be, would be more interesting than say Walking Dead, where I watched up to like the season 3 or something, where the governor and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like most of the time it was like romance, romance, romance. Oh, by the way, there's a zombie. Shoot him. Romance, romance, romance. And I was like, I'm bored by all this like talk and these people and this stuff, like, I don't know. It just drove me nuts.
Well, so this is new stuff that just came out. Is I guess Todd Phillips has been hiding in a cabin.
Hmm.
Lady Gaga is absolutely like taken aback that nobody likes this movie, and she was paid 12 million, while Joaquin Phoenix and Todd Phillips were paid 20 million each for a film that Todd Phillips said would
Wait,
never be made.
how much was she paid?
12.
I mean, this is the second movie,
Oh,
everybody always says the
I'm
film.
just letting you know how much they got paid. I
Yeah.
don't.
Um,
She's not a draw. I mean, I
she
thought that she
she was
was.
a draw for me. I wanted to see it because of her.
I mean, at this point, nobody goes to see a movie because she's in it. They see a movie, she's in it. I thought she was fine as Harley
I
Quinn.
thought she was great. I
As an origins type of thing. I guess she's commented that she's pretty pissed that all of her stuff got cut.
I
This
heard
is,
about that.
yeah, that there's because there's stuff in the trailer where that's not in the movie.
Like the
And
kissing of the girl and everything, and
the
um
girl, the high kicks up on the court stairs isn't in the film.
well, interestingly enough, a girl I know was actually in the movie. She worked as an extra in those scenes. The scene where, where all that stuff. So when she actually watched the trailer, she's like, "Ooh," and then she watched the movie, she was like, "Wait, where are these scenes? These scenes like that we shot like that would have her in it, or cut and stuff like that." And I just and then you hear all these things, and she said the stuff that Todd Phillips said actually was a lie, you know, that the singing didn't the singing got interfered with the stuff because they were already singing in there, like it was part of it. So he's saying a lot of these things to sort of save himself, I guess, but in the same sense, I think he was wrong.
Well, I mean, when you look at it, Joker was never a movie that Warner Brothers wanted to make. So
Right.
it was, so they even had to go to like outside investors. And so of course, the film made over $1 billion. Joaquin Phoenix wins for best actor. There's going to be a sequel, with you or without you. And I did a
Mhm.
post on Facebook listing 3 movies that were a with you or without you. And one would be Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. The other one would be The Matrix Resurrections and Joker 2. So these were
Mm.
all going to be made regardless
I actually
of.
said that to a friend of mine because I said, like, the thing is, Todd Phillips didn't want to do this. He did his Joker movie. He did not want to do a sequel to it. So but when he signed on to do it, I guess he had creative control over
Yeah.
it, and everything, and had decided basically, in a way, he was going to troll the movie. He was not going to make the movie everybody was expecting, because I think because he didn't want a Joker 3. That's
Well,
what I think.
but here's the thing, and this is what makes me mad with people. Arthur Fleck was not the Joker.
No,
He
he
was
wasn't.
never the Joker. He was Joker, because Arthur Fleck doesn't exist in the comic books.
Mm-mm.
This is a completely made up character.
Right. Which pissed
Joker's
off a
first.
comic book guy I know, like a guy who owns the comic book store, said he hated that movie, and I'm like, well, it's not a comic book movie, you know,
It's
like
well, it's not a comic book movie, and that character was never in any of the comic books. It was completely, made up by the screenwriters. The Joker's first name is Jack.
yeah,
Jack, as in Jack from Jack Nicholson playing the Joker in Tim Burton's Batman.
yeah. Well, it was Jack Napier in the Tim Burton Batman, but I don't even think that was his name in the comics. It was just
No,
Jack,
the last name is wrong, but they kept the first name.
right?
Yeah, because they do call him by his first name, but the last name is incorrect. But he would still be probably closer. So, and Todd Phillips has said for 5 years, Joaquin Phoenix isn't the Joker. He's not, because the age doesn't match. If you look at how old Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is, it doesn't match to the little kid that Bruce Wayne is in the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be like 60. So that's why, and this will have spoilers. I'm going to put on the little thumbnail spoilers at the very end of why the Joker dies, and he gets shanked to death. And then you have a guy that we see periodically throughout the film in the background, and he is the one who then he cuts his mouth, which I thought was unnecessary, but okay. And that's supposed to be the Joker from Christopher Nolan's films. And
You mean
that's
Heath Ledger?
yeah, that's supposed to be the Heath Ledger Joker.
Hmm.
Technically. But Christopher Nolan has come out. No, I'm sorry. No, James Gunn has come out. Oh, Christopher Nolan might have too, saying no, that the films are not connected.
They're not supposed to be connected.
No.
But here's what bothered me in the movie is that I was loving the idea of this fake Joker that does not exist in the comics and does not exist in the DC Studios world, or the DCEU, which is we got the Jared Leto Joker, but let's kind of forget about him as well. We get we get this new Joker who's different and not a real Joker. He's called Joker because that's what the press has called him. He wasn't even I don't think he even called himself that in the first movie, if I'm correct.
No, he just says call me Joker, and then in the second one when he's in court, the lawyer says the Joker, and then Kathleen Keener's lawyer says we talked about this, it's Joker.
Yeah.
So the is a very big thing in this,
right? So anyway, what I was basically what I'm saying is like that that the Joker is not the same guy, and then yet they have the other lawyer being Harvey Dent. And I was so pissed about that because that makes it in the Batman universe. I thought this was not in the Batman universe, basically.
But it is in the Batman universe because Bruce Wayne is in the first movie.
Is he? Oh yeah, that's right. They went to his house or whatever.
Yeah,
like he was a little kid or something, or whatever, right? Wasn't
he?
he?
Yeah. He's talking to the little kid, and then friggin' Alfred comes out and tells him, to go away. Tells Bruce to go inside the house.
Right.
And then
I forgot about that. So you're right. Yeah, you're right. So that's why they brought Harvey Dent. Never mind. I'm wrong. I was kind of upset about that though. Like
because Todd Phillips, one, I think that this is very well directed. I think it's very well edited. I think it's very well lit. I think that Joaquin Phoenix gives this 100%. I think that because he said he came up with this idea in a dream. That's where this whole thing came from. Good or bad. He said he that's where he went to everybody and said, I had this dream and this is what we should make. I think for the sequel. I think Lady Gaga is fine. I thought that she would be a good choice for Harley Quinn. And it would have been nice to maybe see more of her. I like that she lied to him about everything because she's like this obsessed fan with Joker,
which is in the comics.
Yeah, and she's like a psychiatrist, and that she has
Yeah.
like this degree, and she tells
She
him
checked herself into the thing because she
to
wanted to be
meet
closer to
him.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically everything that she tells him is a lie. Her parents aren't dead. They aren't poor. She didn't burn down like the
She
building.
wasn't from the same neighborhood or whatever. She grew up somewhere else, you know. So she lied about everything just to get close to him. And then when she got confronted by him about it, she was very honest and didn't try to, didn't try to lie her way out of it again or whatever. But she told him that's true. Like, I just wanted to be with you and everything. And if she I think she understood if he chose not to be with her anymore after that, that she would, totally understand. Um, what I don't
Well,
want, well, I guess
wait,
go ahead.
wait, wait. You're saying wait, who will understand? Because he doesn't
Uh,
understand.
No, no, no. I'm saying that if if she had since she told him everything, the truth at the end, when or not at the end, but when he confronts her in the glass, in the behind the glass or whatever, and says, "Hey, my lawyer said you never did this, you never did that, you're, right?" And she said, "That's true." She said, "That's absolutely true. I didn't do that, all of that stuff, and I wanted to be with you." He understood that. But if he had said, "Sorry, I can't be with you," she would have, probably left
Well,
him alone.
there's still manipulation there because it's up on the stairs that she says, she wants Joker. She doesn't want Arthur.
Right.
Which goes into the stalker
Well, right. I
idea,
mean,
the obsession,
she wanted him to stay in the fantasy, of being Joker. She didn't want Arthur because Arthur gives her nothing. The Joker is cruel and nasty and scary. The joke, or not the Joker. Joker is this horrible, personality, but you know my big problem with the movie is that we are led to believe throughout most of it that he might have a split personality, right? So I got really excited about that because that's a mental health thing. And I was like, ooh, they're going to kind of explore, the idea of a split personality and everything. Well, by the end of the movie, they say that basically a mental health, like that mental illness doesn't exist. At least it doesn't exist in Arthur's world. It was just fantasy that he thought, he was Joker. And I was really upset about that because I feel like that takes away the mental health thing and just makes him a boring guy. Then after that, he's just a guy who snapped one day and murdered people. That makes him not interesting at all. And to me, that destroyed Joker. Like, and I had that's why I didn't like the movie at the end. Other than
well,
that,
go on.
other and then every it seemed like every time uh Todd Phillips did something really cool, like he blew up the courthouse and he was able to escape, and he escapes with the guys and everything. Something happens, like Joker leaves the car and goes to search Harley, who just happens to be at the staircase they've talked about. Like, she had no clue he would show up there, but he's there. And then on top of that, he says, "I'm gonna run away with, I still want to run with you." She says, "No," and everything. So everything like that could have been cool, I could have enjoyed it. Uh Todd Phillips decided to kind of steer away from that, do a 180, and I didn't like that. I felt like it was it wasn't fun for me. It became just this, I just don't like this character anymore. So, and just like she didn't like him because he wasn't Joker anymore. I didn't like him because he wasn't Joker anymore, because then he's just a boring guy, you know? Like, with all the drugs and other shit he was taking, he was just this boring dude who just lived in jail, lived in prison,
Well, I think so. I think that's why basically everybody hates this movie, is because it goes against what the first film set up. I
Right.
mean, remember the media, and I'm one of those believers that the media wanted this to happen, which was in the first film before it came out. They're saying there's going to be shootings in the theater, there's going to be riots, there's going to be fights. This movie should
Didn't they
not come
say
out.
that with Heath Ledger too? Like, or something, they were trying to make it sound way scarier than it was,
That I don't remember. I
Yeah.
remember with Joker that they did it, and I tend to think because a lot of the these channels and stuff are fucking scumbags, and they want these things to happen because it gives them something to report. And then of course it didn't happen, but what Joker did do is in certain countries, it helped with revolutions. Like you can look at certain countries that were having uprisings where the citizens were taking over the government, and because the government is a bunch of tyrants, and
Mhm.
they're wearing the mask from Joker,
Right.
because that's what it meant in a way, kind of like V for Vendetta. For a little bit, people were wearing that mask that V
I
had.
thought they were wearing that before. I thought that was a very popular mask, but maybe not.
That I just know it from the movie. That's all I know it from. But it's I think a lot of people feel very betrayed by this film, and I think that Todd Phillips kind of purposely did it. There's so I don't know how much you know about Fleetwood Mac, but when the Rumors album came out, which was the second album that had like Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks on it, and it was a massive hit. It was album of the year. The thing sold millions of copies. And sorry, I got something in my freaking eye. And the studio said, okay, Fleetwood Mac, for next Christmas, we need another Rumors. We need Rumors 2. Lindsey Buckingham, being somewhat of a narcissist, an artist, a genius in my mind. I think he's one of our best guitarists, singers, and songwriters out there, decided to do the exact opposite. This is during the 70s. He cut all of his hair, and there's pictures of him in the studio, like me, he's bald, with all of these hippies.
The long
And
hair.
he made Fleetwood Mac ended up making Tusk, which was the exact opposite of Rumors. And Buckingham did it on purpose because he just didn't want to repeat Rumors. He refused to do it. And the album only sold half as many copies. So I tend to think that Todd Phillips did the same thing here.
Well, yeah, I think that too. I think he didn't want to do the sequel, so he sabotaged the sequel. But I think that, first of all, I think that's stupid to do if you're a director, because if your movie bombs, you have a lesser chance to make another movie, because people will be like, oh, that's the director that bombed, you know? So I guess you gotta bomb a few times in order for that to happen, but he
but not on purpose though. I mean, that's he had the world when
yeah,
Joker came out.
right.
He could do anything he wanted, and the studio just said, here, just take it all. Take it all. Do whatever you want. We just want a Joker too.
This is Gremlins 2, and a lot of people hate Gremlins 2.
I think
Yeah.
Gremlins 2 is better than Gremlins.
See, but that was the thing, was like, Joe Dante, since Gremlins did well enough, they gave him carte blanche to do, whatever he wanted, and he was like, I'm just gonna make the most craziest, Gremlins movie I can, because I'm never gonna get this, chance again, and I don't know. I saw it. I need to rewatch it again, you know, probably during Christmas. Kind of perfect time period for the Gremlins movies.
Mhm.
But anyway, I remember the movie being fun, you know, and enjoyable, you know, but like way too crazy, like so much going on, and you know, so like tongue in cheek. And I feel like this had some of that too, with Joker 2. I Did you notice a mutual friend of ours in the movie?
I did not see him, but I saw the post on Facebook. Yeah,
That I made about him. So yeah, he was one of the
well,
inmates.
tell people who it is.
Troy Froman is in the movie as one of the inmates, and if you see him, he's like going, you know, really crazy and being nuts, you know, and stuff, almost like a being in a not just a prison, but like a mental hospital and everything. And when I saw him, I was with my friend Ashley, who was the one who said she really wanted to see this. I wasn't going to see this in theater too. I was going to wait till it came on HBO Max, if it even does. You know, I'm pretty sure they'll at least put it there. But I was like, I look over at my friend Ashley. I'm like, I know that guy. I know that guy in the background going, you know, and I got really excited, and so I was very happy to see. And look, my review of the movie was so simple. I thought it was really well written, really well directed, really well acted. The ending just really screwed it up for me. That's it. Like I give it 3 stars out of 5 because that you know that ending really ruined it. You know, like I mean, I would have gave it less, but I really did like everybody's performance, and I did think that this was a strong movie. I just think that you're right. What's his Todd Phillips just wanted this to end, you know, and he didn't want somebody taking over. Like, I think he knew that, like you said earlier, I think he knew that somebody was going to make a Joker 2 with or without him. So there was gonna be a Joker 2, and Joaquin Phoenix was gonna might be involved, or they might recast him. It didn't matter. But Joker 1 did so well that they're going to do a Joker 2 with or without him. So he said, you know what? I'm gonna direct the Joker and write the Joker 2 movie, and I'm gonna make sure that it ends with him being killed, and then another Joker maybe takes over, and it's done. Nobody can fuck with this anymore. And that's my opinion.
Well, I mean, I think to a degree you're correct. Yeah, but where and I'm surprised with the studio, especially with David Zaslav, you know, pulling and destroying and deleting Batgirl. Is this better than Batgirl? I mean, Batgirl had 2 good directors on them. They're the 2 guys who directed Batgirl did Bad Boys 3 and 4, which have made a lot of money. So, like, why wouldn't you release Batgirl with those guys on it? And is this better than Batgirl? Because I don't know. I have a feeling it's going to be a lot, you know, a lot worse. I think with if the first film is like Taxi Driver meets King of Comedy meets Falling Down, the second one is more like oh my god, I can't. Fuck, God, come on, John. Is more like Network. It's more like Bullworth with Warren Beatty,
Mhm.
and it's you know, of course, you know, a courtroom drama,
It's courtroom
and
drama mixed with the prison movie.
and yeah, and Shawshank Redemption, I guess.
I thought about that too, but I was like, I don't know if you want to compare this to Shawshank.
Well,
You know?
and it's but if you look at something like Network and Bullworth, almost all of these movies that have characters that are changing society, and
Mhm.
this even is in real life too, is assassinations, Martin Luther King, you know, the Kennedys, the alleged overdoses that rock stars have, that Joker had to die at the end. Because in Network, they set it up to get him killed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore. That guy, they basically set up his assassination to be live on air.
Mm-hmm.
In Bulworth, because he's telling the truth on TV, they kill him.
Mm-hmm.
So since the Joker is such a prominent figure and he's changing how people see things, he has to die at the end. Now, I did watch one review, I'll finish in a second, saying at the end, did he have a visitor?
No.
Did he?
No.
Because maybe he was going to visit somebody, maybe it was Harley Quinn, and the guy just happened to kill him, or did the guards that he make fun of, who kind of liked him, set him up and go, "Oh yeah, Arthur, you got a visitor," and when he was going down that hallway, they kind of disappear, and then the guy comes out and stabs him.
Right.
So,
well, and that the guard never comes back, or whatever. So, but it's so funny when you said Diddy, I thought of Diddy that's in prison right now. I'm wondering if they're gonna be like, "Hey, Diddy, you have a visitor," they're gonna,
no, they'll just take him to Epstein's Island and just leave him on there and go,
No.
"Oh no, he hung himself."
I don't think it'll be Epstein because I think it'll just be like, "Oh, the guard's away. Oh, he's dead." Yeah, whatever. I don't know. There's shit that's gonna happen with that crap. I don't even want to get into that because that's a whole other podcast that could be made on that crap. But yeah, I think here's the problem is like at the end of the movie, he wasn't Joker anymore. He was just boring old Arthur. So when he died and got killed for being Joker, I guess at one point, he died being Arthur. This boring guy.
But also look at, they say never meet your heroes. Well, she met her hero, and it was disappointing because he wasn't that. No, because he was Arthur when they met, and he was kind of standing like this, in front of her when she was really kind of laid back with the cigarette and all that type of stuff. And oh, by the way, I swear, if the tobacco company doesn't get a kickback from this movie with the amount of cigarettes that were in this film,
which is surprising because how Hollywood sort of doesn't like cigarettes anymore, or whatever. You don't see as many cigarettes being smoked. You see more like vaping and stuff like that because I guess so yeah, it's interesting. But me personally, I'm not a big fan of smokers, kind of thing. But I didn't mind it in this movie because it just felt
no. I've actually never had a problem with smoking in movies. So it's
in real life, yeah, it might be a little different.
Oh, in real life, yeah, no, I don't like it at all. But there is something to say, when Humphrey Bogart has the fedora and the trench coat and he puts that cigarette in his mouth, it's pretty cool. Or Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin are up there with the cigarette, or James Bond.
It looks cool at times, and then it doesn't at other times. And so, in this case, her, Lady Gaga, whether she's a smoker. Actually, my friend looked at me when they were doing the smoking stuff, and she was like, "Do they still actually smoke like real cigarettes, or is it like still fake cigarettes and stuff?" And I was like, "I don't know the answer." It looked real to me. Like, I don't know. I don't know if Lady Gaga actually smokes, or I'm pretty sure Joaquin does, but just because I think I've seen him outside of in pictures out out in the world smoking. So I don't know.
He seems like an intense guy who would probably smoke. Yeah, I don't know about either one of them, but it's but like I was saying, is that she sees him, she meets him as Arthur,
right?
and it's not, you know, and he's not willing to do stuff like she's like, well, let's get out of here, and he's like, well, what do you mean? And then she sets the projector room on fire.
Well, okay, never mind, because that's what I was thinking first, and then later we find out that she checked herself in, so her whole backstory of like setting fire to her apartment building or whatever was all a lie, you know. So she was probably allowed to get up and go take a smoke and then set the place. Well, she ends up setting.
Well, it's kind of like The Crow, where it's co-ed. Like when they're in the, you know, in like the jail or the rehab clinic or wherever they're at, in like in The Crow and stuff, it's all co-ed. And it's like, I don't know, I've been to jail. It was not co-ed. So I mean, they kept the women as far away as possible. They kept the gays away as far as possible. They kept the bad cops away as far as possible. So it's like, I don't know how much of that is, but if she could set that place on fire that easily, maybe it's not a lie that she didn't set shit on fire.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's the first thing she goes to is, well, let's just set this place on fire instead of maybe just knocking over the projector.
Right.
You know, or doing something like that.
Well, they needed to escape, and like they were able to escape when there's a fire because everybody is focused on themselves getting out and not about like rounding up all the prisoners. Here's a question I have for you, okay? Because you know you were talking earlier about a lot of the musical numbers were in their heads, right? And stuff is a lot of it was in Arthur's head. When they were singing together outside of the, you know, when they escaped, was that real or was that all in his head?
I think it's in his head. I think the when we see Arthur singing, it's real life. When he's Joker, it's in his head. So he's in isolation. So what does he do? He imagines this whole musical number because the music teacher in the place, in the asylum prison place, says that's how we're going to deal with this, is through music. And I saw that some people are like, well, is Harley Quinn real or fake in the scene? And I think she's real because we find out that if she's a liar and her parents have money, she probably bribed them to let her in. Is she pregnant? Who knows? Because one of the things I saw was also at the end when they say, Arthur, you have a visitor, right before he dies, is some of the rumors are that it's Harley with the baby. But you know, so how much of this is in his head? Kind of like in the first film with his neighbor, the black neighbor, we bought totally into that this was real until it wasn't.
Yeah.
And so, but that's with like that neighbor, that was a weird thing, I think, in the courtroom. And this is another, I think this is a She-Hulk thing, that the people that write these movies have no idea how courts work.
And you see like court movies or something. Well, no, because Todd Phillips, he's got to know about how to. He's had to done research.
I'm sorry, Joker was badgering the witnesses, like badgering the witnesses, like to the point where he would be, you know, and the judge even, you know, one, I don't think that he would ever be able to be dressed up like Joker. He murdered people as Joker, so I don't think that they would allow him to do that.
Especially if he's representing himself as a lawyer and everything, he wouldn't be able to be Joker because he would be terrifying the you know, he would be terrifying his the witnesses or whatever, you know, and stuff.
Well, yeah, intimidating the jury.
Yeah.
So unless he's speaking with a Southern draw, you know,
I don't like that. I didn't like that part.
Nobody likes that. I get what they were doing with it, where they were kind of doing the Southern courtroom drama where you had like the big fat guy and he was all dressed in white with the cane, and you know he's patting sweat off his head, and
You're
he's got
sounding
southern...
like you're making it sound like he's Colonel Sanders or something.
getting some chicken. And
Yes.
so I get what they were doing, but it went on way too long. And I don't think any of this stuff would happen. Now, the thing is, there's a couple in the courtroom. That is exactly what Ted Bundy did. Bundy fired his lawyer and became his own lawyer. And he would get up and he would start badgering the witnesses. And the judge would be like, I warned you about this. Sit down. And he basically, the rest of his trial, he never had a lawyer. He represented himself. So that's where that, I think, comes from, is from Ted Bundy. Also, I just found out, and I found this out yesterday, Todd Phillips has a connection to John Wayne Gacy.
Like in his family or something?
When he was in college, he was making a film and he needed a poster made, and he paid John Wayne Gacy, I think it was something like $200 to make the poster.
He obviously didn't know who John Wayne Gacy was.
Not at the time, but the scene where Harley and Joker are doing kind of like the Donnie and Marie type show. If you notice the name of the back, it says Pogo.
Right.
Pogo is John Wayne Gacy's clown name.
And he did a movie about a clown. Interesting.
And a clown this Friday is about to completely destroy this movie. And I could not wait, because I'm going to be part of that.
I will be too. I will be there.
So
I will be there on Friday. My friend and I are... my other friend Vittorio asked me the other day.
Oh, you got your bubbles up.
What bubbles?
Do your hand again. The bubbles came up.
It didn't that time, but
yeah, you're little. Well, yeah, because I'm keep talking. I'm very excited.
Yeah, well, I'm excited because it's a movie that I'm guessing that John's about to pull out his movie for what?
No.
Oh, you got nice, you got a little pop.
This is my Terrifier Funko Pop, signed by Art the Clown, signed by the director, signed by the lead actress from Part 2.
Part 2 or Part 3?
Part 2. She's also in Part 3.
Okay. I need to, you know what? I'm going to have to watch Part 2. I've never even seen Part 2.
Oh my God, I love Part 2. I just rewatched both of them, including the shorts that were in All Hallows Eve. So
I was not a fan of All Hallows Eve, but I like that it spawned all of this, and everything. But I really, after watching the first Terrifier, David Howard Thornton there's no other person who can play Art the Clown than him. And All Hallows Eve, it was somebody else playing Art.
I'm friends with the original actor on Facebook, and Philip OGP. He showed me when I was over at his house, because we went to the convention where I got this. This is in a hard case. This is only the third time I've removed it. Oh my God, I love this. This is like $500 right here.
What?
And it's only going to go up. This whole thing is like the signatures, the pop itself, all of that. This is the most valuable pop I have. But when I was at Philip's house, he took down he goes, "I'm going to make you jealous." And I went, "What?" And he took down a framed 8x10 of the original Art the Clown, and it's signed.
Nice.
And I'm like, "My God, I want that. I want that."
So yeah,
I love Terrifier beyond belief.
So an independent, clown movie. But I'm going to say that this is not, Terrifier 3 is not a Hollywood movie. Please, people, stop trying to say this is a mainstream Hollywood movie. It might be mainstream because people do love him, but it is not Hollywood by any stretch of the imagination.
No, it's unrated. It's oh my God, I'm going to the first show on Friday. So I find it funny that this is going to crush it, they're already predicting $11 million from this on its opening day. And then this movie made more money than Joker 2 did on its opening day. So this is going to totally kick its ass. And this still made more money on its opening day than Joker 2.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's absolutely amazing. And it's, and I think that it's from, I mean, it's, I was lucky enough to meet those three people and actually have a conversation with them and stuff and tell them, especially Damien Leone, because I prefer the directors over the actors, and tell him that how much I love the first one, love the second one even more. I didn't care that it was 2.5 hours. I loved every it's a long ass movie.
Yeah, I heard.
Especially for a slasher film, but I loved, and he's like, oh, you loved all the divisive stuff then, you know? And it's like, yeah, I did. I loved all of it. And I told the lead actress that too. I mean, that all the stuff that people don't like with her, I won't get too much into it because you haven't seen it yet, but she wears this costume that is absolutely amazing looking, and she is beautiful in it. And it's an amazing film. And I don't know if we're going to get, because I use the original Star Wars films as my examples, because when you have a trilogy, a lot of trilogies seem to follow this pattern where it's A New Hope is good, Empire is great, Jedi is okay. The original Mad Max is good, Road Warrior is great, Beyond Thunderdome is okay.
This isn't a trilogy, by the way.
He is going to do 4 and 5, but for right now, I'm hoping that it's not Terrifier is good, Terrifier 2 is great, Terrifier 3 is okay. So I'm hoping that Terrifier 3, because it's just under 2 hours. Oh no, it's just over 2 hours, I think.
Wait,
like
so would you say that Scream was good, Scream 2 was great, and Scream 3 was okay?
See, it follows that same pattern.
But would you say that? I don't know.
Yeah, Scream is good. Scream 2 is great. Scream 3 is okay.
I don't know. I kind of like Scream 1 over Scream 2 still. I think we definitely had this discussion. And I originally hated Scream 3, but the more I watch it, the more I like it a little bit better. But it's still it might be my third least favorite because I really don't like the new ones much,
Out of the Craven films, it's my least favorite. But I'm like you. I think because we watched it and reviewed it, I've come to like it more.
Yeah, I liked it more, and I think the biggest problem I had with it was it wasn't written by Kevin Williamson, so it was written by the guy who did The Ring and Reindeer Games, Aaron Kruger, and I just, when I saw that, I was just so mad when I first watched the movie that like I couldn't get over the fact that or whatever. And then when I rewatched it, having not seen it in forever, I kind of was like, all right, it's not as bad as I sort of made it up in my head. So to go back to Joker, when people were saying all of these things, like they hated the movie, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it made me not want to really watch it, and then when I saw it, I was like, I can see what people are saying, what people don't like about it, but I still enjoyed it up until the end, maybe. In the end, I just was like, I felt like I was being sort of, kind of, I was being bamboozled, at the end.
And that's what a lot of people think. I wouldn't mind seeing a Joker 3.
How would they do that? They'd have to do a new Joker.
So you take the guy who kills Joker, you bring him to rise. You do like a Scarface type of thing. Joker, the Arthur's Joker is still out there, that people still follow him and wear the mask and everything, and they say, no, he is Joker, you're the Joker. And the guy's like, no, I'm Joker, I killed him, I took him down, I'm the Joker. And you kind of maybe show his his rise, and then maybe
You're
that there's
prob-
two factions of Jokers, and there's stuff that you could do. You just leave the musical stuff out, and you just do it like Carlito's Way or Scarface or something, The Godfather, where it's a rise to power. Because
I mean, because that's what everybody wanted from this one.
but Todd Phillips has never. I take that back, because he said it wasn't a musical, then it was a musical. He's never said that. He has said that Arthur is a wimp, that Arthur would never be able to run a mob family. You know, we people, I think, wanted the Penguin, which is why the Penguin is doing well. And because that's what you wanted to see, was Arthur get out or be broken out, and then he becomes this
Crime boss.
And eventually ending up being the leader of these people, because we still have in I mean, I guess that if they're gonna have young Bruce Wayne, Harvey Dent, which I thought was interesting, that we only see, and it's blurry in the background, when the guy, after he kills Arthur, and we see him do, I don't know, what is it called? It's an actual, the something smile. It's an actual term that they use for that. It's a mob term, but it's a Polish smile or something like that. It's I forget what the name of it is. But when he's cutting his face, it's blurry, so it's hard to see, and we focus on Arthur dying. In the courtroom with Harvey Dent, it went by fast. If you blinked, the camera went by Dent so quickly that if you weren't paying attention, you didn't notice that half of him was completely burnt up. And that was the creation of Two-Face. So, okay, so now you make another movie. Bruce Wayne is now a teenager. You know, maybe he's 20. Arthur's dead. New Joker's taken over. Harvey Dent is now Two-Face. And you make it more of a mob movie. You make Goodfellas. You know, or The Untouchables or something.
This movie did so poorly. I think they're not going to do a Joker 3, you know.
No way.
You know, I think what they'll do is James Gunn will let somebody pitch another Batman, because they still got the Batman 2 that's coming out and stuff. But another like solo Batman universe or Superman universe or whatever movie that has nothing to do with the DC Studios world, you know, that they're building right now.
But that's I think that is a problem, because I think if this was a huge hit, if people liked it, on top of the Penguin, you would get the Batman 2 tomorrow. And from what James Gunn has said, James Gunn said that he gave notes to Todd Phillips, and Todd Phillips threw them away. Like, he saw the film, like he had like his own test screening, and Todd Phillips just ignored him. He just threw all the notes away. So if anybody is to blame for this, it really is Todd Phillips.
Yeah.
You know, in the same way that I blame Patty Jenkins for Wonder Woman 1984. Wonder Woman was a $1 billion movie. So what does Warner Brothers, oh look, the same company, do? Patty, we're going to give you complete control of Wonder Woman 1984. You could do whatever you want. And then they screen the movie, and then they're like, oh crap, this thing's like 2.5 hours long. It has 2 beginnings. So they go, Patty, we need for you to remove one of those beginnings. We need like the Amazon Island stuff gone, or we need the stuff that's inside the shopping center gone. Right. And she goes, oh, well, guarantee this is going to be a hit. If I remove one of those beginnings, you're not getting Wonder Woman 3 from me. I'll just leave. Okay. Keep both. And then the film bombed.
Mm-hmm.
And they did the same thing with Todd Phillips.
So I always remember I would go down to Burbank, California in 2020, 2021-ish, that time period. And it was right before Wonder Woman 84 came out, you know, and you would see these big billboards that would say Wonder Woman 84, you know, right? And everything right before the Warner Brothers lot, you know, and stuff like that. You see the Warner Brothers. I love that Warner Brothers, whatever I forgot what it's called, but like it looks like a, I think it looked like a, one of those water things, you know, or whatever.
Oh, the water tower?
The water tower in Burbank. I just think it was so cool, you know, and seeing Warner Brothers signs and things like that. I loved living there. Well, living outside of there, but going there to go to Priscilla's Cafe and drink and write my scripts. Those were the highlights of my days in California, because I just felt like so much creative like love being around there. But like the Wonder Woman stuff, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be a hit, you know, right? This is gonna be big. And nope, you know.
that first trailer where it was to, I forget the band who does it, but it has the 80s song in it.
That became a thing.
That was great. That was a great trailer. And I even watching the trailer for Joker 2, you know, Filet-O-Fish, I thought it was going to be really good, and it didn't. I liked Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 better than Rob Zombie's Halloween. I liked the Matrix Resurrections. I had no problem with Matrix Resurrections.
Right.
I enjoyed it. And now I liked this. So I don't know. Maybe I'm an outcast or an outlander or whatever it is for these types of movies that shouldn't be made.
Everybody has different feelings. Like I just posted that I did not like in a violent nature, and there were some people on my post that said they loved it. Now, I don't know if you know filmmaker Steve Rosinski, you know, and everything. He always, every single time I see a post, you know, he'll be like, I did not like that movie, and that movie is the movie I like. And then I will say, I don't like this movie. And he'll be like, I loved it. He loved In a Violent Nature. He thought I should have seen it in the theater because I would be immersed in and I'm like, it's like Lord of the Rings, man. It's just a lot of walking, you know? And I'm like, I don't want to be immersed in the area with this dude. Like, I really don't, you know? And so I really, you know, I've gotten to the point where I sort of used to, you know, kind of, you know, try to be in the majority of what everybody else liked, you know. So I'd say I like this stuff, even if I didn't like it. Now I just don't give a fuck. If somebody doesn't like my review of something or they don't agree with me, I tell them, you know, I don't care. You know, you can have different. My dad used to have this saying that he would say, where he'd say, "Gustibus non est disputandum," which means taste is not disputable. You know, what you like, what I like, what Joe Schmo out there in the world likes does not matter. We all are different. We all have our different tastes. That's why movies are great, because some people like the movies where they walk and talk and do nothing for, you know, for 80 minutes and stuff like that. And they can make a whole movie like that. What is it? Richard Linklater does his movies where he just has the people talk for whatever before sunrise and things like that, you know.
Love those movies.
Right. But there's a lot of people who do not like those movies because they just don't want to see people walk around and talk. I love it because the stuff that he brings up is interesting to me, you know. But what if it were two people just talking politics the whole time, you know, right? You know, some people would love the movie and some people would absolutely hate the movie, depending on where, you know, on where it went, you know, on it. So everybody has a different taste, you know, and I'm okay with that, you know. I'm not okay with you telling me that my taste is wrong, you know, that I'm wrong for not liking something or for liking something.
No,
And I
that's why I just say you're so weird. You
I
know, like
know. That's that I mean, you know, once again, I seem to be in the majority, and I'm not even lying about it. I really didn't like the ending. I loved up until the ending. Then I was just
but a
like,
lot of people don't like it. But I don't think the number one thing I hear is people don't that they didn't want a musical, but yet La La Land was nominated for best movie and almost won it, and that's a musical.
or
So
what was
I
the other
don't
one that A Star is Born, you know, with Lady Gaga, you know, and stuff. So I
see.
mean,
I wouldn't even call A Star Is Born a musical because she is a singer. It's a drama with singing in it, but it's not. And I loved A Star Is Born. I thought that she was. I love Lady Gaga when she doesn't have makeup on. I love her when she is the most basic that she could be. I
mhm,
think that she is absolutely gorgeous, and I do like some of her music. Probably like a greatest hits worth. I haven't really heard a lot of her stuff except for what's been on the radio. But I have no problem with her. I think that she's a much better actress than Madonna. Oh my God, the Queen. How may I say? How do I say that? But
I mean,
I and
I would say they're different. I like both of them almost equally. I think I love Madonna, you know, but
not
I
not I, sir, not I.
yeah, but it's okay. It's okay. See,
You
it's
know,
a taste thing. You know, you don't like her, and that's fine. I always dug her. Um,
yeah,
I
I
need to
think
buy
it's
the Dick Tracy Blu-ray. Do they make that on 4K? I wonder.
man.
Maybe
I
they'll
think it
release.
just barely came out on Blu-ray. That thing was not available for a long time.
Yeah. Um,
So I don't know if it's on 4K, but I liked her in that. I thought that she was fine in that, and but overall, I think
Liked
that
her
she's
in a League of Their Own. I liked her. I've liked her. You know, um, do I like her in like Swept Away with the Guy Ritchie directed and
who's that
everything?
girl
Yeah, yeah. Well, who's that girl? But that was comedy and silly. I
and
like her,
bad.
and well, I never saw it, but I know of it.
It's bad.
Um, you know, I dig her. I think you know, I haven't really seen her do much lately. You know, I don't think she acts much anymore. But I dig her. I dig Lady Gaga a lot. And I honestly, okay. So remember when American Horror Story? I think it was like season 5, the one in the hotel, season 5 or 6, whatever it was in the hotel, and then they announced Lady Gaga was going to be in it. I was furious because I was like, "Who the fuck is this chick, like, going from pop singer to now, you know, she's this big time actress and big time, uh, you know, TV show, right?" You know, I was furious, and then I watched it, I didn't like it, and it wasn't her fault, I just thought that was a really weak season, um, but she's now continued to be on those shows, and she's a really good actress. Like, I can't dispute that, she's a good actress, you know? So, I will forever now say, you know, like, I was wrong about that before, but now I will watch, you know, another, movie that she's in. I like her.
I had no problem. I've only seen one season of American Horror Story, but I had no problem with her being on it. I did have a problem with the Kardashian being on it because they're worthless and have no talent whatsoever. So I
Well,
do have a
they
problem.
just draw the teeny bopper crowd that
They're they're
watches her stuff.
they're
Like, that's it.
all awful. All things Kardashian. All things. It's the ex-husband trans. What's his
Caitlyn Jenner.
Jenner. Anything that's Jenner, anything that's Kardashian to me is just garbage. Just absolute garbage. And so that annoyed the fuck out of me that Ryan Murphy would even allow her to be on there when he's much better than that. So, but I do think Lady Gaga in A Star Is Born is very good. I love the movie. I thought that Bradley Cooper got completely fucked over at the Academy Awards, and you know, and I thought that she was fine in this. I don't think that she was given 100% the opportunity that she could do, because everything she does is music.
Right.
So maybe, you know, maybe have her do something that's not music, like actually
Yeah,
give
maybe
her.
like a drama or something, you know, where with regular drama where she I mean, I would watch that, you know.
Yeah.
I dig her a lot, and it's funny because the girl that we're also both friends with mutually that I've met, Ashley Slashy, you know, she gets people say, "Oh my God, she looks like Lady Gaga." I think she looks better than Lady Gaga, in my opinion. But you know, that also might be because I know her personally, and you know, I think she's really sweet, and so whatever. I but I can see it, you know. And the more I saw it, the more I was like, oh my God. I even wrote to her later on and said, hey, I saw the movie you were in, you know. But yeah, it was I don't know. Lady Gaga was great. Joaquin Phoenix was just, I mean, he did the same role in a way. You know, he did a great job.
I thought, I didn't think he was walking through it. I don't think, and
Walking through it.
uh and I don't know, maybe, who knows, maybe Todd Phillips really did want to make this movie because it doesn't lack in anything. It's beautifully shot, it's well directed, it's well edited. You know, you wouldn't put out 100% effort on something that you didn't want to do. I
I
mean,
think he
it's,
wanted to do it. I think he wanted to end it. I think he wanted it, you know, he didn't
well,
want
ending it
somebody
is,
else.
but if you're gonna hate it, people are gonna hate it this much. I mean, I think, I don't know. I mean, if the first one is all about mental health and all that, then this is about toxic fandom. You know, that you like I said, you know, you don't want to meet your heroes, and it's, you know, you, as a guy, you meet an actress who plays, you know, your, if I ever got to meet Mila Jovovich, and she's not Alice from Resident Evil. What the fuck? You're Alice. You're not Mila. I don't want to be by Mila. I want to be by
No,
Alice.
that gives me like Danielle Harris vibes. Like, you know what happened to her, right?
Yeah, but that which is what I think this film is about.
Because
Is
that
it?
scared the shit out of me when I heard it. Like that, the dude got upset that she cut her hair in to be in Roseanne, you know, and stuff. And to the point where he brought a shotgun to her house to kill her because she was not exactly what he wanted her to be. And he, you know, that kind of thing. And that to me is terrifying that there are people out there, and that guy might have a mental illness, like the dude who tried to kill Reagan, who actually I think lives in Williamsburg now, you know, where I live. So I might be seeing him.
To quote Wall of Voodoo, he shot an actor for an actress.
Yeah. But yeah, he shot it for Jodie Foster. But apparently he's fine now. He's out. You know, he's maybe hopefully he doesn't watch any more Jodie Foster movies, you know.
Well, she hasn't made a good one in a very long time, so he's probably safe on that. So
Probably safe. I don't
I
know.
just tend to think this is more about toxic fandom than it is about mental health, and you can see other things in this. I mean, if Todd Phillips is just going to rip off like 3 movies in the first one, then he might as well, you know, rip off Shawshank Redemption. He might as well rip off A Few Good Men. He might as well,
Network.
you know, Network. He might as well rip off The Fanatic. He might as well, you
Yeah.
know, rip off anything that, you know, that he can. And it's, or even, you know, I wouldn't say Chicago, but there is a Bob Fosse film called All That Jazz,
Mhm.
where it's a drama and music, and it's done exactly the same way.
Roy
And at the
Scheider's in
end,
that one, right?
yeah, and at the end he dies.
Does he
So
sing?
he does sing.
Oh my god. Now
Yeah.
I gotta see it just for Roy Scheider singing.
Oh, he can't sing, but I love it. I love that it's a great movie. It's my favorite Bob Fosse film. It would probably be in my, at least my top 20, maybe top 10, top 15, somewhere in there, for one of my favorite movies. And I love the soundtrack. It's a great film. I mean, it's a movie about Bob Fosse, directed by Bob Fosse.
That's funny.
And it's a brilliant film. And this is kind of the same thing, where it's narcissism and egos. And so I don't know, maybe, and I mentioned this with the Matrix, Matrix, now I want to say another movie, Matrix Revolutions,
Revolutions.
that that down the road it's going to be looked at as a good movie, that people are going to look back and go, yeah, we were wrong.
Well, I mean,
So,
okay, so a lot of people think that once they see another movie that's worse, you know, like say, you know, everybody was saying, "Oh man, Crystal Skull was terrible," and stuff like that. And then the, you know, Lucasfilm says, "Hold my beer," you know, and puts out the Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny,
Dial
and
of
it,
Dysentery.
yeah, and it does so poorly, and
That
it's
now
just a
all
bad
this,
movie that everybody's like, "I'd rather have Crystal Skull," you know, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull back. You know, they'd rather watch that than Dial of Destiny. So I don't
well,
know.
yeah, I used that when Donald Wills and I did one of our first film discussions, where we talked about Star Wars. And it's
Mhm.
like the original trilogy, you had nothing to compare it to. So it's classic, it's genius. And then you have the you know, the prequels, and you're like, oh, these are garbage compared to the originals. And then you have the Disney sequels, and then you're like, oh my God, those are genius compared to the Disney sequels. So now everybody loves the prequels. And now
Yeah.
all those actors are getting parts in Disney stuff.
So
So
that's what I fears would happen if they made another Joker movie, that it would do even worse than this one, and people would be like, "Oh, Joker 2 was great compared to Joker 3," you know?
oh, another thing they were going to do, this was going to be a Broadway play. And I'm not joking. Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix talked about this being a musical on Broadway that then would be turned into a movie.
Well, I'm glad you're not joking about Joker as a play. I would my you know, it it's annoying because, like, I don't even know who goes to Broadway plays anymore. Like, you know, like, I guess they still have their fans, they still have their thing, but,
Well, they're
like,
still huge. I mean, they keep making them in the movies. I mean, Wicked's coming out, and that was
well,
gigantic.
yeah, I actually, the girl that I went with, she and her husband, are so excited about Wicked because I think they went to see the play, you know, so they're excited for the movie, you know, and everything and stuff. So
I might.
I'll see it. I'll see it because it's, you know, it's nothing on my, you know, it's 50 cents for me to go watch. I mean, technically $20 a month for as many movies as I want to see, but you know,
It's a little woke.
probably,
But
but I mean, what else is, you know, what else is new these days? Now, I mean, they are sort of getting away from that or trying. You know, there's a
thank
few that
God.
might still have it next year just because they can't, you know, they can't spend more money just to remake it, and
Well, yeah,
you know, like
it's
that.
all, yeah, like Agatha all along is super woke. So it's and I'll avoid that like the plague. But
Well, I mean, you
in the
know,
same way that I avoided, you know, the Acolyte like the plague.
I didn't
So
watch that either, but I just didn't because everybody talked about it enough where I felt like I already watched it. You know, like people said so many, talked about so many scenes that I'm like, you know, I'm good. You know, I don't need to see a bunch of witches sitting around saying the power of one, the power of two, the
space
power of
lesbian
many,
witches.
the power of many. I don't want to see that shit. Like that just
God, that
sounds
was so
stupid.
awful. God, that was awful.
Yeah,
Let's go back to Joker.
which
Joker
isn't
2.
woke. Which isn't woke.
I didn't think it was. I didn't think so. No.
I bet
No.
I bet there's some video somewhere where somebody's gonna say it's woke, you know, or whatever. Like, how could they make this woke and shit like that? And people are gonna be like, "What are
Well,
you talking
actually,
about?"
I think I have that Arthur is an incel. But
But
I
not,
mean, but I mean, he is in a cell, but they say that he's an incel. But he does have, I mean, allegedly, he does have sex with Harley and
well,
possibly gets her pregnant. So I guess he wouldn't be too much of an incel.
well, there's this really I feel like the more woke mob actually attacked the first one because of the depiction of violence and mental health and all of this stuff
Oh,
and whatnot.
toxic
Yeah,
men
toxic
and
men and all this shit.
yeah.
And how dare like people put this guy up there as a pedestal, and then they loved the sequel because it was like the exact opposite. And they made him into, this pathetic person, you know.
But yet he only kills men in the first movie,
Right.
and in this he worships Harley.
Yeah, he worships
So
Harley. I
you
mean,
know,
I don't know. It's funny because I like the first one a lot. I remember seeing it because it came on Max when like in the 2020-ish, time. And it was exactly what I needed to see it. So I watched it and was like with Jackie, my former roommate, we were watching it going, this is really good. Like I didn't want like a Joker like solo movie. Like I didn't really want that. Like I was like,
no, it's
why is he getting,
unnecessary.
yeah, it's unnecessary. Why are we gonna be rooting for a bad guy? You know? Just the same as I did not like In a Violent Nature. I'm like, nobody in the movie was good. There was nobody there to like hold on to and connect to. And I'm like, so you're supposed to be rooting for the bad guy. You're supposed to be rooting for the villain. And a lot of people say they do that in slashers anyway because all the characters are so fucking boring.
Well, yeah,
Or
you vote for Jason or
yeah,
Michael
you
to
can't wait for
kill all
Michael
these
and
people.
Jason
Yeah.
to kill Freddy. You're just like, yeah, cut him open and stuff like that.
But
And
it's because you can relate to some of this stuff that these people do. I mean, that's why Falling Down has now become like a classic. Where
once again,
before really
another movie I haven't
people
seen.
just you haven't seen Falling Down?
I've seen clips of it and stuff like that. I know it's it's not Jeff Bridges, right? Is it Jeff Bridges?
No, it's Michael Douglas. It's
Michael
directed by Joel
Douglas.
Schumacher. It's Warner Brothers, so it's probably on Max. You should definitely see it. It's
I'm surprised Joel Schumacher made anything good. Like other than Lost Boys, which I love, but his Batman movies are god awful. I did like was it Time to Kill? I think he did,
yeah,
and
he's hit
stuff.
and miss, but he's had some decent stuff. Yeah, he did Time to Kill,
He's
and
well, he did Flatliners. He's done a few good ones. I'm
yeah.
not gonna lie, but I'm surprised he did Falling Down because it just doesn't sound like something something he would do. But sometime
Yeah,
I'll watch it.
it's a good film that I think, especially as you get older, you can relate to more and more. If you're in your 20s, I don't really think you can relate to it. But when you get to be the age of the character that Michael Douglas is at, you kind of get just the nonstop, or I should say, yeah, just like the stopped traffic in LA as you're
Mm,
going to work, and you just get out of your car and just walk away, and you're just like, fuck this. And then he goes out on this adventure, and he just kind of loses it.
mhm,
So but a lot of the stuff that he does and the people that he meets are you start rooting for him.
mhm.
So but yeah, so anything else with Joker 2?
So what was the budget of the film? They usually have that
Oh
kind of
my
stuff.
god, it's expensive as hell. It's half more than half. There we go. If I could speak English correctly. So it is budgeted between, okay, it's 200 million.
200 million. And how much did it make so far?
So far, it has made 119 million.
Oh, that's sad. Because a lot of people don't realize this, like normal people who are, who are out there and don't realize that the movie that you see, right? The budget that you see, the $200 million, that doesn't count all the marketing and other stuff that goes into it. It should, they should put that in there and then let everybody know the real like cost of it. But the marketing is its own thing. So, a marketing might cost another $100 million. So it might actually be a $300 million movie, or whatever. So it's kind of sad about that, but anyway.
Yeah, well, it does say here future. In October 2024, Phillips said he has no plans to make further DC films, rejecting the notion of making either a third Joker film or a spinoff centered on Lee, Harley Quinn.
Maybe I would like that, but I almost feel like she sort of, by the end of the movie, she left that, like she was done, with Joker, with Harley, the idea of being that character. So, yeah. So
yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're a woman who loves guys that are in motorcycle gangs or something, and you're got the leather jacket and you're on the back of the motorcycle and he's got the leather jacket and you're traveling around, and then one day you're in your leather jacket and he's not, and she's like, what are you doing? And he's like, yeah, this isn't me, I'm not going to do it anymore. You probably wouldn't stay with them. You'd probably throw away the leather jacket and leave, because that's not the person that you wanted. That's not who you thought that person would be.
Right.
So that's why I think maybe in some ways people are looking at this in the wrong way, that this is about toxic fandom and how you shouldn't put people on a pedestal and how you shouldn't worship them and how you shouldn't call them gods and you shouldn't even listen to them. Ricky Gervais was 100% correct, when he was at I think it was the Academy Awards or maybe the Emmys or whatever it was, or the Golden Globes, whatever it was, where he was just destroying Hollywood, saying nobody should listen to you and you shouldn't give out advice. You know nothing about the real world, and it's but people do, unfortunately, So
Robert De Niro seems to think he's able to say whatever he wants to say, which we are allowed to say whatever we want to say in America. That's the beauty of free speech, like we're allowed to go and say, do this, do that. We're not allowed to say you have to listen to me, or whatever, or I'm going to make you listen to me, that kind of thing. I mean, we also have the luxury of being American to be able to not listen to whoever we want to not listen to, or whatever. If I don't like somebody's feelings and stuff like that, I don't have to listen to them. That's just the way it is. And I think that's a great, the minute that starts becoming a problem, uh, that'll suck in America.
Well, it is kind of a problem if you misgender someone. That's a problem. So that
if you misinform people too, that's a problem. But what is misinformation? Because what is information to one person might actually be real information to somebody else.
Well, there's a difference between fact and fiction, and there's a difference between your feelings and your feelings not mattering. I don't care what your feelings are if I happen to call you the wrong thing. I really don't. I just don't. Get over it, be an adult. Go buy an ice cream and get over it. So it's you people. The reason why movies like Joker and Joker 2 and other films can be made is because it's America, and you're not going to be able to make this type of stuff in other countries.
Right.
You would be stopped, or it would just be propaganda. So it's people should be very happy with where they live,
That's
and that
another. Well, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and they can hate a movie if they want to, or they can love a movie if they want to, you know. So
Yeah.
it shouldn't, you shouldn't be told if you don't like The Acolyte that you're a racist and a misogynist and you suck and you're a toxic male. No, people just didn't like the show. It's that simple, you know.
Nobody liked. Okay, my biggest example of this is nobody liked Velma. People are making fun of Velma. People watch Velma to make fun of it, and then it did very well because so many people hate watched it the first season that it did well. So they're like, let's make a season 2. That bombed because nobody watched it, and everything. And now they're not making a third season.
No, nobody wanted it, so
No.
nobody asked for it.
Nobody asked for a movie that takes the character, like at least with Joker, we know that Joker doesn't exist. Well, that's not necessarily true. The fans of the comics know that Arthur Fleck is not the real Joker, so they when you see it, you're like, this isn't Joker, but I like it because it's different. It's a different take on the Joker movies, Joker stuff. So, I mean, but then, if you did something, The Acolyte, or Velma is specifically, you're taking a character that everybody loves, and then you're putting your agenda into it. You're not putting, there used to be something called The Message, right? There was a message. This is a message film and stuff. And those were great because those are subtle. The message wasn't in your face.
There's still the message, but it's the opposite of what you're talking about.
Joker's a message film, or whatever. It's subtle. It's not in your face. It's not telling you you have to be brainwashed to feel this way or whatever. That's what I think Velma and those other shows do, and I'm kind of tired of it. Like I want my movies and TV shows to just be fun and enjoyable. I don't want to be thinking I'm a bad person, or whatever because of this or that and that and this, like that's what they try to make you feel like, and I just don't like it anymore. And I want to enjoy movies. So yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a reason why Rings of Power bombs and why House of Dragons is doing really well.
Oh, it's House of Dragons? I never knew that. I thought it was House of Dragons, but
I have no idea. House of the Dragons didn't sound right to me, so I just said House of Dragons. I've never watched an episode of it, so I have no idea.
Let me find out.
I know it's doing really well compared to, Rings of Power.
House of the Dragon. Sorry.
Okay, so House of the Dragons. So it's it's, and then you also have cases of it, and then we should wrap this up, that you give people the exact same thing and they criticize it.
Mm-hmm.
You then give them something different like Joker 2 and they still hate it. So you're just not going to win. I mean, either way you look at it, it's just not, you're just not going to win. You know?
I mean, some people loved the first Joker but hated the second one, and some people hated the first one and loved the second one. It doesn't really matter, what matters is that, is word of mouth, and when people say they didn't like something, that really does hurt your movie chances. So people saying they loved Deadpool and Wolverine made people want to go out and see Deadpool and Wolverine, and plus people, I think people wanted to see that. Like they had these like predictions for a while that it was going to do very well, you know, and everything. Mainly because it's just, you know, and then
Well,
I
that
saw
was a
this,
no-brainer.
but I saw this one guy who badmouthed Deadpool and Wolverine, you know, in a video, and I like the dude. Like I like his YouTube channel, but he went on this tangent about the fact that it was mean-spirited to Marvel, and he just didn't enjoy it. He didn't enjoy how many times they poked fun at Marvel, you
No,
know.
sounds like he's a shill. He's probably a Marvel shill who loves everything that
Exactly
Marvel
not.
does. And
Well, maybe he
and
is.
if
Maybe
you
he is. I don't know.
criticize it, then you're wrong. You know, you know, there's a whole battle going on out there, you know, between all the YouTubers with Marvel and Star Wars and stuff. So it's,
Yeah.
you know, but
I just follow the people, like I follow the Marvel fans that just don't, that even say they don't get into that stuff. Like if they like it, they like it. They don't like it, you know, most of the time they might just keep their mouth shut just because, you know, they want people to go enjoy a Marvel movie on their own, you know, not to be, you know, swayed by one person or another. They want people to make up their own minds, you know, and stuff like that. And I agree with that, especially if you're a fan of Marvel like I am. You know, I was more of a fan of the earlier stuff than I am the new stuff, but you know, I still watch the new stuff, not nearly as much or whatever. I haven't seen Agatha because Agatha looks boring to me,
oh my
honestly.
God, it's awful. They're also a coven of lesbian witches,
Yeah.
and they sing in the movie too. So hey, look, I have right here. I have another clown.
I don't have any clowns, but
I have Pennywise right here.
I don't have any clowns, but I have a Chucky.
Oh, okay. Well,
That's a
Chucky's
doll.
always good. Chucky's
Yeah.
always good. So
You love your Chucky.
I do love my Chucky. And they're looking for a new network, so they're still
Oh,
thinking of doing season 4 just with a different network.
Netflix.
So you know, I'm hoping. So we'll see that. All right. So what review did you give this? Like 3 out of 5? Was that
Yeah,
it?
it's 3 out of 5. Yeah.
I would give it 4 out of 5.
Yeah,
So
I mean, you liked it a little bit more than I did.
yeah. So 4 out of 5.
But like I said, I liked it all the way up until the end. The end really killed it for me. If they hadn't gone that 180 with everything and made it so, because you know what turned that scene where he's sitting there and he like thinks for a second and then he goes, "I'm not Joker." And then I'm like, "Then what the fuck have I been watching?" Like, what's the whole point of this? If you're not Joker, then why do I care anymore? Now I've lost interest, you know. And then this stuff blew up, and I'm like, he's gonna become Joker. He's gonna say, you know what? I want to win Harley back, and I'm gonna become Joker. You know, I'm gonna show her that I can become. You know, no, he's just this boring, pathetic person,
Who
and
runs away?
who runs away, and he gets caught by the police, and then he gets put back in jail, and then he gets killed. And it's just like the end of the movie. It just made me go, I didn't really like it. You know, I didn't like that, and I liked everything up to that. So I can't say, like, I couldn't give this like a 1 star or something like that because it was exceptionally well made. Uh, Todd Phillips knows his shit. You know, it's just ultimately boring to me. Like when you say, "I am not Joker," there is no Joker. You know, you're pretty much saying that, like, fuck you guys. This whole thing didn't matter. You know,
So I guess if Bruce Wayne said I'm not Batman instead of I'm Batman,
I'm
then that
Batman.
would have
Yeah, I'd
then
hate it.
you
I'd
know.
hate it. I would, and people might do that because that is exactly the opposite of what people are expecting. And that is exactly, this is what I think Paul would like this movie because Paul hates the superhero stuff, right? The obnoxious superhero stuff. This is not a superhero movie or anything like that. This is a character piece that's inside a prison most of the time. You might not like the musical stuff. You might kind of get tired of that. But aside from that, like, if they didn't make this a musical, I think this movie might have done a lot better, you know? I think the choice of doing a musical was another just, like, big fuck you, you know, and stuff to everything, and I think that I think Todd Phillips just was interested in closing the saga for Joker, and, yeah, he did it.
Well, and Joker doesn't kill anybody. So if you made it more of a crime mob type of movie of his rise behind the bars, then you'd be like, hey, see Johnson down there? That guy owes me a couple cigarettes. Go fuck him up and get me my cigarettes. And
Mhm.
then you start the Joker just with a couple cigarettes that that this guy owes him, which then turns into bigger and bigger stuff. And I think that's what people wanted was the Sopranos, but in jail where Tony is bossing everybody around, like like Goodfellas, where they're
Mhm.
in there making dinner and they're all sitting around playing cards and the guards are walking in with a bottle of wine and that's not what they get. Yeah, it's that they get this wimpy little kind of pathetic guy who's ends up not being Joker. So,
He could have been Joker. He could have
could have
just
been.
went with he could have just went with the thing, especially since that made Harley happy. But once he saw that she left because of it, and then he tried calling her and all that shit, and just after that, he kept just being Arthur. And to me, that was where it just lost me, man. I just can't can't get into it.
All
No.
right.
Mm.
All right, well there we go. Okay, everybody. I think that's a good place to end this.
Yeah.
So
Almost 2 hours.
yeah, not bad. So all right, everybody. Well, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and I hope you got something out of this. So it sounds like you and I are kind of in the same place with it. Like I liked it, but had problems. You didn't like it, but you liked aspects of it.
I liked it all up until that I am not Joker. After that, it went off the rails for me, and I felt
Done.
like,
And then you just walk
eh,
out.
yeah, well, I mean, not I wanted to see where it was gonna go. Maybe it was gonna go a different direction and stuff with that, but like it went to the boring direction. Like he's in the car with those guys and he gets out. Boring. Like keep him in the car. Keep him become a crime boss. He can do it.
He's in the car. He now has two men.
Yeah,
Those could
they're
be
gonna
like his first two guys that are part of his organization.
exactly, but does Todd
Instead,
Phillips want but
he
does
just
Todd
runs.
yeah, does Todd Phillips want that? No. Todd Phillips wants this guy to be a loser and pathetic and to be exactly what people don't want him to be and everything because he wants to give a fuck you to the audience. So, yeah, my opinion.
Yeah,
Uh,
which is, and then I'll say this, and then we'll go. Is that it's because I'm sitting here right next to a bunch of DC movies, and looking at them, they're pretty positive in a way. I mean, the Batman is fighting crime. Black Adam is for the most part positive at the end. He wants to fight crime. The Flash, he's a pretty happy guy.
well, except he's
Um,
putting fucking cats in a microwave or
Oh,
something.
that fucker. I hate him. And Batman is like the Tim Burton Batman stuff and Joe Schumacher and it's like everything has a you could take something positive from it. That these
All right.
superheroes, even though they're dark, and there's something positive within it. And even with Joker being the opposite of being positive, because he is just, I mean, granted, he is killing people that are assholes, but it's almost like, yeah, like it's the anti DC movie
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because it goes in the opposite direction of what a superhero should do. But of course,
Mm-hmm.
he is a villain. So I mean,
I
kind of
mean,
like
it's a villain
like the
story, but it's not a villain story. He's not a villain. He's Arthur Fleck.
not anymore. Yeah, because it's
He's
I'm curious of where the Penguin is going to go because they've only mentioned Batman once, and I think, and I've watched two episodes, And Batman is just not in it. It's just, they mentioned him at the very first episode, at the very beginning. They kind of recap the movie. And even though the Penguin is going around doing all this stuff, he obviously knows who Batman is. Batman's never mentioned. So I'm curious of seeing where this is going to go, because you're supposed to have a little bit of sympathy for the Penguin, because you see his messed up foot and all this. Like, you
I
start to
haven't
kind
seen
of,
it yet, but I kind of want to. I do at some point. It's like right now I've been watching a lot of movies to review and other things that I haven't had the opportunity to just sit down and watch a show, you know,
right.
much, but I will. I'll eventually get to it.
Yeah, it's good. I might wait until the whole season is done, but
You know what? I might do that too. I
just
mean,
binge
but the
it.
problem is, I'm afraid people are going to spoil shit, you know, before I get a chance to really watch it. But
So far, there's nothing to spoil. I mean, I'm only on episode 2, but I mean, it's nothing is, because there's also, the Riddler is still there, but they haven't, I don't think they've really brought him up at all. And in a deleted scene from the Batman, the Joker is there. He's in Arkham. So we'll have to see because I don't think the Batman is connected to anything.
That's an interesting. No, it's not. It's not, and it's once again, it's So James Gunn explained this. The Joker, or no, Joker, the Batman, and any of the other ones that are like that are in their own contained worlds in universes, I guess, right? So the Batman can have the Penguin TV show because that's their, world and everything. But they can have their own Joker, they can have their own Harley, they can have their own Riddler, they can have their own Two-Face, and it's not connected to Joker or the DC Studios movies, like the new Superman movie that they're doing, where they're having all the other characters together. I think that's going to be very confusing for audiences who are watching them on Max, or something, and then they're like, "Wait a minute, I thought the Joker was, different in this than it was in, you know what I mean?" Like, he had to explain that, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, all the TV series and stuff, I mean, a lot of those aren't connected. Some of them are, but some of them aren't. So, oh well. Well, we'll see. All I know is Crypto the dog is in the new Superman movie. So there you go. You got that.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway, yep.
all right. So let's wrap it up. Thanks everybody. Appreciate it. Thanks for checking this out, and let us know what you think of all of this down below in the comments section.
Did you like Joker? Did you not like Joker? Did you think it
Joker.
was meh? Are you not gonna watch it? We spoiled it, so if you didn't watch it, then that's your fault for listening to us talk about it, because there should be spoiler warnings.
It's been out long enough.
Yeah.
So, and plus all of these YouTube channels are telling it anyways. They're all talking about the ending and
Good.
all of that. So I don't think it's a big surprise, but I'll still put spoiler.
I do want to check out. I forgot to check out somebody's, like, some of the times they have like the Joker ending explained, kind of thing, like the Joker 2 ending explained. So hopefully, I want to hear that, because I want to hear somebody try to explain exactly why the Joker chose to go that route. The movie decided to go that route.
I think that would be a conversation with Mr. Phillips or
Yeah,
Mr.
but I don't think he's gonna tell us the truth.
Joaquin.
Like, I don't think they would tell us the truth. Because I feel like there's more to it. Like, knowing full well that he did not want to do a second one. I think there's more to it, that he's not gonna say, because he can't come right out and say, "I sabotaged your film just to be a troll," and stuff, and
Right.
stop, whatever. You can't say that, because then it makes you look bad. So
well, other people will say it for him. So
yeah, they're like us.
There you go. Yeah. So, all righty. All right. Thanks everybody. Appreciate it, and we'll see you on the the next one.
Next video. Bye.
Bye. Next video. Don't know what it is, but bye. Bye, everybody. Bye.